Hey everyone, in this video, we're going to learn how to add some content to our space, and then we're going to publish it for others to view. Adding content is kind of where the fun begins. Being creative allows you to truly express yourself. In this classroom, I will act as a teacher, and in this space, I want to show the students images of their home science projects. Now, once everyone has had a chance to walk around and view them, I plan to have each student talk about how they created it while standing in front of their image. Now, this space came with frames already populated to use, but you can add your own if your space doesn't have any. Now, to start adding your first set of content, let's head over to an empty area or a section in the room on a wall. And then what we want to do is click on the plus icon in the top right here. Now, a new window pops up, and this is our content window. And in this window, you're going to see quite a few different options. So, for instance, the first option here is the empty frame. You have a mirror, you have a boom box, you even have a cat. But these are a bunch of different options that Spatial provides you for free directly in your content section. Now, you can go down to furniture and you can add different seating if you like, and you can also do other things here. Now, we're not going to take a look at these. We're just going to focus on the stuff section. And what we want to do is go ahead and add an empty frame. So let's go ahead and click on this frame. All right. So now that you've clicked on this frame, what we do now have is the frame is floating in or around your character. Usually it starts right in front of your character. Now, to manipulate the frame, you want to take your mouse and you want to hover your mouse over the white edges of the frame or right at the edges of the frame. And if you click and drag, you can go ahead and move that around. Now, what you want to do is understand that your camera's position will dictate which direction your frame is. So, for instance, looking at my screen, now I'm going to hold this frame here and I'm going to move it around. And whatever direction my camera is facing, the frame should be aligned properly with that. Now, if we change this orientation of the camera, you notice, and we start to move the frame around, it's going to start to be flattened, again, facing the camera direction. So if you are trying to place this on a wall, you want to select the frame, move it, move your camera, select the frame, and kind of reposition it. And based on your camera's position and what it's facing, you'll be able to get it kind of aligned with that. Now, with the object selected, if you were to move and scroll your wheel in and out, and you can tell that the frame is selected by this blue outline around it. If you actually see that blue outline and you use your scroll wheel, what you're ultimately doing is moving it in and out of the space. Basically, it's going forward or it's coming closer to the camera. And so if you see here, I'm moving it closer to the wall, and then I'm now moving it closer to the avatar. So that's another way for you to manipulate the movement of this. Now, with your frame selected on the right side of the screen, you're going to see a window pop up. Now, this window is going to provide you with a lot of different options. Now, the first option at the top is the lock option. Then to the right of it, you have the duplicate option. And then to the right of that, you have the delete option. Locking it allows you to not be able to select it. So for instance, if I lock this and now I'm moving in the scene, as you can see, I cannot select this. I can select it in order to upload assets, but I can't actually move it. And that's a great thing. Now I'm going to go ahead and click it to unlock it. Now duplicate is exactly what you would expect. When you duplicate it, it creates an additional frame. And then to the right of that, of course, is delete. So with this frame selected, if I hit delete, it gives me an option to delete, and there you go, it's deleted. Now below that, you have your transform information, and the transform information is basically your ability to manually move it using actual X, Y, and Z numbers. Now, what you would do is, say for instance, you are walking here, and let's move a little closer, and we're going to kind of push this forward, and that looks pretty good. But say, for instance, I want to move it a little bit more to the right or the left. You can take this and move it that way, and you can type in numbers to get it a little bit more accurate. You can do the same thing on the Y, up and down, and then the Z is going to be in and out. So basically, it's going to come closer to the camera or it's going to move further away from the camera. So for instance, this is currently at negative 17.52. I'm just going to go ahead and copy those numbers and then I'm going to move this number. It looks like it's disappeared, but the truth is it just went behind the wall itself. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that and reposition it. Now you could type in numbers again, or you could simply move it and get it there. Now, of course, like I said before, you can use your zoom wheel to manipulate that. As you can see, as I'm zooming it back and forth using the scroll wheel, those numbers are changing. Awesome. Now below that, you can do rotation as well. So right now it's at 0 on the X, 359 on the Y, and 0 on the Z. If I were to change it, as you can see, it's twisting. We don't really want that. I can just type in 360 and that will give me that. And so as you can see, as you move it, it's kind of changing its direction a little bit. But again, this is how you can manually adjust it if you need to. Now, even more importantly is the scale. Now, right now, this picture is a little small. We do want it larger. So here with scale, if I move the X, you're going to see it scale uniformly. And that's because this icon here is selected. Now, I typically don't change this because once we upload an image, you'll see that the actual shape of the frame will adhere to the shape of the image that you upload. So what you can do is simply leave that scaled uniformly, and you can just simply change it. And so you can get a more general size, just like so. So I'm going to move my camera because I want this to kind of flatten out a little bit. And if we move the character, you can see, well, that's not as close as you like. So what you can do is use the scroll wheel to go back and forth, and then you can readjust yourself and you say, well, it's a little crooked. And so what you would want to do is grab the frame and make small adjustments with this transform section. Great. So now that we have it in position, the next thing we want to do is upload one of my students' images. Now, to do that with the frame selected, you can just go over to the right side here where it says to upload your asset or your image, and you click on that button. What that button is going to do is bring you to a assets area where you can click upload on the left side of your screen. So once we click upload, and then here you're going to see drag in your files, or you can simply select from your device. So I'm going to go ahead and click on select my device, and I have a host of student images here to choose from, including a class banner. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on, say, student A, and then I'm going to click open. And once we do that, it's going to upload that image. It's going to reposition it right inside there. And as you can see, it's framed really well. Now, as you notice, the frame itself has an art frame, but you can remove that. So in the same section here inside this pop-up section, you have show art frame. Go ahead and toggle that off and you can do that. Now it does kind of make it feel like the image is smaller. So what we can do is actually just increase the scale a little bit on our image. And this is going to just help those around to be able to see the image better. All right, great. So now that we have an image inside of our frame, if you take a look to the right side now in our image information box here, you're going to see a new section called info. And inside here, you're going to have the name, the creator, description, and a link. And at the bottom, it's going to say show info panel in space. So basically, this is the information about this particular frame. And if you actually want to display that, all you have to do is go ahead and toggle this on and you'll see a small white tag show up to the right side of your image. Now this is going to display this information, so if you change the name here from the name of the image to student A, say project, it's going to update and it's going to put that there. Great. So now you can also put in the student's name here if you want, and you can continue to add more information. And once you're finished with that, now what you can do is hover your mouse over the actual image in the scene, and you'll see a magnifying glass at the top right corner. When you click that, you're going to get a nice view of your image, and to the right of that image, you're going to get the student's description, the name, that sort of thing. And this is really nice for just showing off either you're an artist or a student or whatever the situation may be. This is a great way to be able to display the information about the image that we're looking at. All right. So now that we've learned how to create a frame, update the frame's position, move it around a bit, and also add an image with information, now what I'm going to do is go ahead and do that to all of the frames in this scene. Great. All right, so now that we have all of our students' images in the frames, the space is looking much more lively and more interesting. Now, just like we created a frame, you can add seating and different objects to your scene. So let's take a quick look at how to manipulate and move objects around like a chair or a couch. And the first thing we're going to do is just simply move over to a location in our scene that we want to add new content to. Now we're going to go up to our add content button here. I'm going to click that. And inside here, we're just going to go down to where it says furniture. Now in the furniture section, we can pick all types of different things here. Now for this classroom, I want to pick something that looks a little fun. So I'll go ahead and pick this couch here. Now, once this couch has been added to the scene, as you can see, we can just simply click it and move it around very similarly how we did the frame. The only difference is if you change your camera position, the couch itself doesn't change its orientation. So if you actually want to rotate this couch, you simply click on it and you'll see a transparent box show up around the 3D object. And all you have to do is go into your transform sections here in this section and change that, so you can change it on the Y and you can rotate it like so. And what I want to do here is actually rotate it in a position where it's actually facing the artwork or the student's work on the wall. And so what I'm going to do is just move it and then I'll rotate it a little bit here and there. And again, like I said, you can type in direct numbers here. So if you're dragging it like this and it's a little hard, you can also just type in a number as well. All right, so now that I have this couch in that position there, I want it to go closer to the ground. So I want to make sure that now on the position on the Y, I'm going to move it down a little bit. And if you move it too far down, of course, like I said before, you can go ahead and use the numbers directly. So I'm going to type in, say, this number here, and that will put us kind of right on the floor. Perfect. All right. And so I want a few more of these chairs. So let's go ahead and duplicate. So I'm going to click duplicate, and then I'm just going to kind of move this chair there. And what I'll do is rotate it because I want it to kind of turn a little bit so that it's facing the center of this photo here. So I'll go ahead and rotate it. Just make sure your couch is selected. And then with that rotated, I'll just kind of slide it up some and I'll duplicate it again. And I want one on the other side. Great. So I'll go ahead and rotate this one this way. All right. So I think the classroom is looking pretty good, and I believe the space is ready to be viewed by others. All right. So in the next video, we're going to go ahead and show you how to publish and then share your space.